All right guys, so as you can tell, we got a spillway right behind us. I'm thinking there's gonna be a handful of fish in there, but we got some new fishing gear to try out today. Super stoked for this. A new BFS setup. You guys love the BFS content, so I was like, you know what? Let's get another BFS setup. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we could crank a few fish and have a good time. I've been struggling this winter, but I know that the BFS will not let us down. So the rod of choice that we got is the PHENIX BFS Classic 6'9". Super sick rod. It's got a crazy tip on it. I mean, you're gonna feel every single little bite. So sensitive, and honestly, it's got just enough backbone to be able to pull up some decent sized fish. But what I'm most excited about is the DAIWA TATULA BF reel. This is DAIWA's BFS reel. A lot of people are familiar with the Luz Custom Light SS. A lot of people are familiar with the Shimano Corrado. A lot of people are familiar with the King Zephyr. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of people know about DAIWA's BFS reel. And I'll tell you what, it is slick, it is clean looking, and I cannot be more excited to fish with it. I mean, check that out. Super sick. We got that DAIWA braid on there, 10 pound with an 8 pound fluorocarbon leader. I do go a little bit heavier just in case we hook up with a big fish. We got a little bit of extra strength in the line to be able to withstand running over any sort of concrete, any sort of brush, and also pulling the fish up, because we got to get the fish up. That is the #1 thing. So without further ado, let's rig these suckers up, let's get it tied on, let's make a few casts, and let's get out there and rip them. Look at that little combo together. I mean, it just looks absolutely deadly, y'all. So stoked for this. All right, and what we're gonna be throwing on first is a little 1/16 ounce wrecking ball jig head with a little Southwest grubby from Fat Pack Baits. I love this little thing. It gets cranked, it gets munched, and no better way to test out a BFS setup than ripping around a little tiny grub. All right, let's see. Let's get this thing out there. Man, okay. We got to loosen that just a little bit. So we're gonna let this thing sink and just slow roll it. If there's any sort of active bass, they should come up and absolutely crank this. There's a boatload of fish in all the canal systems. You know, we have yellow bass, we have tilapia, we have flatheads, channels, carp, crappies. I mean, there's so many fish in these canals to where you genuinely do not know what you have hooked until you get the fish up, which is the reason why canal fishing is always so exciting. And when you guys tie your leader, make sure that you cut it down pretty much flush to where the knot is, because the fluoro will kind of catch. If there's a little bit of a tag end, it'll catch on the guide and it'll screw your entire cast up. Tell you what, ripping this thing around, it is beyond smooth. We just got to try to luck out and get something. Still not used to it yet. Something in the water right there, some form of structure. And I mean, with this spot being pretty much right off the main road, it does get fished a lot. So, you know, there are times where you have to spend a little bit of time here to be able to pull a couple fish, which I'm willing to do. That's not a problem. We're also going to be walking down the canal a little bit. We're going to see if, you know, maybe these fish are really dialed in on the bottom. Maybe they want a little Ned rig. Maybe they want to eat a little craw. You know, just test some different things out. Test the durability of this rod reel. See what it can really do. See what it can toss around. I mean, obviously, any sort of lighter action baits, it's going to be able to rip around pretty darn well. And so far, so good. I got no complaints. Which is why I really want to catch a fish to see if there's going to be anything different that I can notice from, you know, an $80 King Zephyr to a $300 Luz to this $239 DAIWA TATULA BF. You know, just really open it up and see the capabilities of it. All right guys, so spot number 2, I guess you call it. I mean, we just walked across the street, but so far doing really good, ripping around this little tiny 1/16 ounce grub with ease. Took a little bit to get it dialed in and, you know, get it situated to where I cast, but I'm digging it so far. We just got to get a fish on it. Normally when it comes to fishing the canals, you want to focus on structure, so any sort of broken concrete, ladders, staircases, bridges, piling, stuff like that. But during the winter, these fish push off of those areas and they're a lot tougher to catch. Number one, they just seem to not want to eat. Number two, I mean, they're just stuck on the bottom. and they'll look at your bait all day and they'll get real close to it, but you gotta figure out what they want, the type of movement that they want in order to get them to hit. And that is exactly what we're gonna figure out today. Don't know how, but we're gonna do it. I mean, look at that rod tip, hitting every single nook and cranny. So just imagine when you get a bite, you're gonna know exactly what it is. All right, let's see. Let's go against the wind. Not too bad, not too bad. I mean, the wind's not blowing super hard or anything, but it was decent. Went out there pretty good ways. All right, y'all, it's time to make a switch. So we're gonna switch over to a little craw. I think that the craw is gonna do pretty good for us. I think that we will end up getting a bite. I just wanted to try the grub at first just to see if there was some form of a moving bite going on, because sometimes late January, these urban fish kind of get going randomly. So it was worth a shot. Now it's time to really lock in, focus, and get us a couple fish on this new sick little setup. Before we do move on, I do want to show you guys the line that I'm using. I'm using the DAIWA J braid. This is 10-pound braid. Got that chartreuse. The chartreuse is super sick because if you're fishing in that low light, you'll really be able to see your line. Or if for some reason you have a vision problem, you know, it's helpful with that too. You can really see that line and see that little doink that you get before you have to set the hook. And then just a basic Seaguar 8-pound fluorocarbon right there, red label. Super sick. The craw of choice that we're going to be using is the Fat Pack Bait, little Beastie Bug Junior, little 2.8-inch craw. Just green pumpkin, keeping it simple. No need to go crazy with colors this time of year. The fish just want something natural looking, so green pumpkin is always a great way to go. Just like so, right there. Super sick little bait. Should get eaten, should get munched. Let's give it a shot. A lot more weight behind it, my goodness. It's kind of nice. I can really feel that tension. And this bait's gonna fall even slower because it's got 2 appendages and it's so light of a jig head that it's just gonna be slowing down that fall even more with those appendages kicking through the water column. I wanna catch a fish on this thing so darn bad. But sometimes when you try so hard to catch a fish, that's when you get skunked. And that's kind of been me as of late. I've been having a hard time actually getting on fish. I'm trying so darn hard to catch them. Sometimes that bait hits the silt just right, and when it hits it, it kind of digs into the silt, and it man, it feels like you have a fish on. Guys, I don't know if you can see that over there, but look at this. It's either a carp or a tilapia on that side. Just struggling. The dude is struggling hardcore. It's almost like he got caught and like maybe in the gill or something, or I mean the water's just that cold and you know he doesn't have too much time left, but the dude is geeking. He's definitely geeking out a little bit. Beautiful. We got bit. That was a fish. That was a fish. Oh my gosh. I got overly excited. I should have waited. Should have gave it that split second. Oh my goodness. Well, we didn't pin him, so let's get it back up there and see. Oh my goodness. What a beginner mistake. There we go. Beautiful. Right here. Right in front of that spillway. And that line is so slack. I hate that. I may have had him on. I actually think that a fish had my bait right there because out of nowhere, it literally dug straight down. Oh my goodness. I am screwing up left and right, y'all. I am screwing myself. Got him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, no way. I don't know if this is a tilapia or a carp, but something came up. I think it's a carp. A carp saw my Beastie Bug Junior and ate it. Well, I'll tell you what a fish. What a fish to test out the new combo. Did he really eat that? I think he did. Oh my goodness. Not the intended species by any means, but we won't complain. That is wild. It's gonna be tough to get this fish up because I don't have a net. See, who says you need corn? Who says you need any special bait to catch carp? Just use a bass lure. Insane. Absolutely insane. So I want to get my keys out of my pocket. He did eat it. Oh my gosh. It's in his mouth. It is in his mouth. One thing I'm going to try to do, there's this bag right here. I want to see if I can get the carp on top of the bag and maybe I can scoop them into the bag. If that makes any sense at all. Oh my goodness. He did eat it. Oh, check that out. Okay, cool. He's kind of in the bag. Oh crap, he went over it. No. Get back in the bag, buddy. Gotta be careful because this rod tip is ultra sensitive. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Oh, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. No, come here. I need you. I can't get him. I can't reach him. Complete doofus moment here. What a struggle. I'm trying to get him. Oh, we had him. Come here, bud. I'm gonna win. I'm winning this. You're not winning this. I got him. I got him. I got him. No. I got him. Oh boy, we got him right there. Oh my gosh, he ate the Beastie Bug frickin' Junior. Alright, we got him. Yep.
Holy shit.
Guys, we lucked out. Oh my gosh. It was a struggle. It was a struggle to get him up, but got a nice carp right here. Not the intended species by any means, but check that out. On the BC Bug Junior. That is so sick. And we landed him without a freaking net. That DAIWA BF reel handled it beautifully. That PHENIX Classic BFS rod handled it beautifully. Gotta love it. Super sick. And this fish did not want to give up. Check that out. Let's get this beauty back in. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the bite. That was wicked. It's kind of a struggle to get him up, but we got him up. Ready? Thank you for the bite, buddy. Swam straight back down. How exciting is that? Oh man, that was insane. All right, guys. So we got a true little test on that DAIWA BF TATULA reel right there. And I'll tell you what, I'm so happy that I decided to get the red label Cigar 8-pound test line and had that 10-pound test DAIWA braid on, because that fish just kept scraping me on concrete, that ladder a little bit, and I think that allowed us to actually get the fish up. If this was 4-pound test, 6-pound test, on some of those runs, probably would have broke us off, but he ate the Fat Pack Bait Beastie Bug Junior. I saw this fish swimming up and I was like, is that a big bass? And I just see a silhouette just kind of like, just grab it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just swinging. But kind of dark actually. Let's get this all situated. Oh my gosh, right there. Basic little Beastie Bug Junior. Obviously a bass lure, but it catches all species. All right, guys, so unfortunately that is it for today, but this BFS rod by PHENIX and this DAIWA TATULA BF reel absolutely came in clutch when it came to that carp. That carp scrapped us around, the line did great, you know, super sick setup. We're going to be using this a lot more. We're going to run it through the ringer at the lakes, creeks, ponds, canals, everywhere. So you guys are going to see a lot more of this. But if you guys are curious, you want to check it out, it'll be linked down below. If you guys are going into the store at Copperstate Marine and Tackle and you want to check it out and you end up wanting one, use code DREW10 online and also just let them know I sent you down at the shop, and yeah, they'll save you guys a little bit of money at checkout. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit lackluster, but it was still fun coming out, cranking on a fish.